Hello, Alan Reid from Hart Square here with Tim from Unified. Tim, great to see you.
Good to see you.
We're delighted you're taking part in TechSmart this year, and we're really looking forward to seeing you there.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to being there.
Great, great. So, Tim, let me ask you, we're seeing at the moment that there's more competition in the web space than we've seen before. The NFP sector now has a number of options to consider, a number of providers. How is Unified responding to the increased competition in the sector?
I think in the same way we always have. We focus on particular platforms that we know can do the job and deliver the solution, because that's what we're about. Clues in the name, Unified Solutions. And we, as I say, really focus on those three main platforms, as opposed to, I suppose, running around looking at the latest shiny toy and thinking that we can deliver a solution based on that. So yeah, there is more competition, but I think we've got stable platforms to choose from.
So at Unified Solutions then, what would you say your major offering is? What's your major offering to what section of the market?
It varies depending on the requirements. So we've got an open source solution which is primarily for managing content and the old, I call it old now, the old paradigm of publishing content and managing content. We've got a mid-market solution, allows us to deliver not just managing content but marketing automation and email marketing and so on. And we've got a very sort of high scale, very scalable, well-known vendor that we work with, which is primarily aimed at the larger NFPs and membership bodies.
And what kind of organizations do you find that you work with? What kind of organizations choose Unified Solutions?
Quite a range. We've got quite small membership organizations, for example, that may have no more than 2,500 members that need a solution from us. Right through to quite well-known customers that have a large membership base, or large charities that have quite a lot of events going on, lots of volunteers, donations and supporters. So really the whole range from quite small to very large, well-known names.
Great. Okay, so of course TechSmart is quite a technology-driven event, but people are looking for the right strategy.
Yeah.
There's still a bit of a debate raging in the sector about whether your CMS should be open source, Braco, WordPress, Joomla, etc., or whether you should be going with a proprietary system.
Yeah.
What's the Unified Solutions slant on that?
Again, pretty much as it always has been, which is I think that open source is ideally suited to certain customers and to certain projects. As you say, it's license free, it's support free, it's backed by a huge community of developers, which tends to drive the roadmap. Other customers prefer the security of having a commercial vendor who's got a published roadmap, has 24/7 support, for example, they can rely on.
And what do you see as the pros and cons of each? How would you, so I'm the CEO of a medium-sized membership body. I'm saying, Tim, Unified Solutions do both. That's great.
Yeah.
What would incline me one way or the other?
Again, it comes down to the requirements. So if someone is looking for what I'd call a sort of a more integrated solution, so the product contains the functionality they need to deliver the solution overall, then I would tend to lean towards suggesting a commercial product.
So a commercial multi-partner product, something like Kentico, something like Sitecore.
Yeah, or even higher level than that, the Adobes of this world, etc. Because they've got everything you could want in one product. It's managed by one company. It's developed, and the roadmap is all about membership experience or contacting your supporters and encouraging them to engage with you further. Whereas I know some strides have been made in this space, but open source software, for us anyway, tends to require you to bring things in, so you have to piece together the various pieces.
Okay, very good. And of course, in all projects that we're involved in, integration is a huge challenge. Yeah. So there hasn't been really much by way of standalone websites for a long time. It's always something that needs to be talking to the CRM.
It does.
Needs to be talking to the marketing automation system. Probably in some ways needs to be talking to commercial platforms as well. So what's Unified Solutions response to that? How do you de-risk that part of the project for your clients?
Tricky, because that is by far the most difficult part of any project. We've taken different approaches depending really on what's available from the CRM or third-party provider. Fortunately, a lot of them have upped their game, so they're now publishing really good APIs, things we can actually connect to, and they've got published methods, sandboxes where you can do some really good testing.
Yes, yeah.
So if that's available, that would by far be our chosen route, the old web services idea where you just simply communicate with the known.
Where you're more independently able to do what you want to do online.
Yeah. For some clients, we've actually convinced them to go down what I call the middleware route.
Yes.
So what we're building is a bit of resilience. So we are, booking someone to an event, and we're making a call to book them onto the event, which gets passed to the current CRM, but it's through a middle layer. So if they choose to replace that functionality or that module at CRM, we just need to replace this little bit here rather than having to change the whole thing. But again, very few clients, unfortunately, are buying into that whole middleware future-proofing.
I can see the appeal. So Unified Solutions, you've integrated with most things over the years.
We certainly have. So that's why I say we tend to look at what's available and make the decision, the call. So another technique is actually to take data or content from the CRM and capture that within the web solution and then use that within the web solution, but bearing in mind always that the thing we're getting it from is the master.
Yes.
So we have to be very careful not to let people then take that and mangle that data and turn it into something different, which is then a duplicate or a copy, and you end up with the...
No, I like the approach. So a little bit of humility here. The data in the CRM is the master.
Yes.
Which is great. It makes sense, doesn't it? Because the staff at the membership body or the charity are editing that directly, and then that can be reflected when the person logs in onto the website.
People that subject matter experts are updating the CRM, keeping that up to date, and that's the truth. And then the marketing people are able to embellish that and put a bit of a spin on that when it goes to the web itself.
Excellent. And of course, you mentioned marketing. A hot topic this year at TechSmart and around the sector is the whole topic of marketing automation. Now, a lot of people are asking for it. Not quite as many people know what they mean when they're asking for it.
That's true.
But of course, it is the next step for many organizations. So simple transactional self-service isn't enough. So how do you advise and assist your clients when it comes to the topic of marketing automation?
I think at this stage, as you say, Alan, it's become a bit more to the fore, but there are a lot of people sort of scratching their heads and saying, so what is it exactly?
I should be thinking about it, but
yeah,
can you tell me what it is again?
Yeah, exactly. So I think the value that we add is knowing exactly what it is, what it does, its place and its role within membership organisations and NFPs is just taking, if you like, the requirements and then saying, right, that's suitable for marketing automation. So the classic thing is your event registration, where before you'd have to, load up a spreadsheet and then use Outlook and mail everybody to say, please come along, and then they turn up and then you say, thanks very much for turning up. Marketing automation can just take all that away. You can load it into your system, you can then send out a reminder at a certain point, which you don't have to worry about. You don't have to sit there and wait and then push the button to send. It can then send out a further reminder just before the event. Then you can capture the people that turned up and you can send them a thank you or send them an email that says, sorry we didn't see you, perhaps you'd like to book again next year.
So you're not relying on the staff for those or for those routine things,
exactly.
Thereby freeing up the people to do things that only human beings can do.
Yeah, exactly.
And of course, you're doing a TED Talk this year.
I am indeed.
Planning to do it personally?
I will be speaking at TechSmart, which I'm looking forward to. And I think I'm still playing with the title, so I've got a bit of a working title.
Okay, let's hear it. Let's hear what we think.
Okay, it's like, now you've got them, how do you keep them?
Snappy.
Well,
Snappy.
it's along those lines, which is, it's not so much about.
Now you've got them, how do you keep them? And subtext, how do you go and get some more?
Yeah.
Something along those lines.
Because it all does go around in a bit of a circle. If you can actually engage with your supporters that you've acquired and become members or donors or volunteers and so on, if you can actually engage with them and make them feel really positive about that experience, guess what? They'll tell everybody.
Yep.
So that gets you more
They'll stay
supporters.
with you and they'll tell
Exactly.
others.
They become advocates. So, yeah, acquisition is fantastic, and we do a lot of work around that.
So Tim, that sounds like a really interesting topic. Now I've got them. How do I keep them?
Yeah.
I think you'll get a lot of attention with that one. So it
I hope
sounds
so.
really good. Tim, we're delighted you're coming to TechSmart. Can't wait to hear your TED talk.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot for making time today.
Thank you very much, Alan. Right.
Great.
See you then.